Doctors, as they are looking at you, can see the energy in the sense that they say, well, you're alive, or they see the absence of it in your physical vessel when they say, well, you are dead or not alive. But they don't understand that there is a projection and a receiving of a vibration. You could call it consciousness, you could call it source, that is coming to you and through you all day, every day. It's the whole of you. It's the eternal part of you. It's the part of you that was broadcasting even before you were born into this body. It's the part of you that eternally is broadcasting a signal, meaning thinking thoughts, having consciousness, having knowingness, having beingness. In other words, you are an eternally broadcasting being. So here you are in your physical body. Now, the part of you that's here in this physical body is only a small part of the whole of who you are. It's sort of like, as you're in your physical body, you may be thinking about the work that you're doing. You rarely do, but sometimes you do. Or you may be thinking about the love that you're making, or the love that you're having, or you may be thinking about the car that you're driving. But you are never doing all of those things at the same time. In other words, you are projecting consciousness relative to different topics. You get that, don't you? You could be a master carpenter, but while you're bowling, you're not usually thinking about that. And if you are, you're not doing a very good job of bowling. Does anyone bowl? The point that we're making here is that this point of consciousness that is really who you are is huge in relationship to the personality consciousness that you know as you. It's a much bigger part of you that was and is non-physical. And that non-physical you is having a relationship with you all the time. The question is, are you conscious about the relationship that you're having with the larger part of you? How consciously connected to this source energy part of you are you? Now, emotionally speaking, when you're thrilled, when you're in a state of appreciation, when you are having a moment where you feel so deeply in love, when you feel passionate about something, that means that the vibrational frequency within you, caused by the focused thought that you've got going on in that moment, is so in alignment with the vibrational frequency of who you really are that there's no resistance. It's just total allowing of the fullness of you to manifest or be present in this moment. Now, we're using the word manifest deliberately here because we want you to know that in every moment that you are consciously focused, you have the potential of manifesting the fullness of who you are or not. Your emotions truly are manifestations. Manifestations meaning indications, meaning actualizations, meaning manifestations of who you are. How much of you are you allowing to manifest in this conversation that you're having with someone? And when you're angry or frightened, when you are frustrated, you've pinched off enough of the frequency. In other words, your frequency is different enough from the frequency of who you really are that you've pinched off the connection to some degree, and that's why you feel the diminishment of negative emotion. Negative emotion is diminishment. It's your indicator that you're running on lower fuel than you ordinarily could if you were focused in a way that was allowing more of who you are to be present in this moment. We really want you to feel the relationship between what you're thinking right now and what the source within you is thinking. Because the source within you is the dominant part of you, and you can't get too far away from that frequency without feeling the self-inflicted, self-imposed, self-focused distraction or self-focused resistance to the fullness of who you are. And we know you all live for those moments that you call those highs. You live for those moments. You so want to go to a movie that gives you that lift, or find a lover that gives you that lift, or have a moment that gives you that lift. In fact, every single thing that every one of you wants, no matter what it is, whether it's a material object or a state of being or a moment. Esther was really irritated on the airplane for a moment because she watched almost an entire movie before the plane landed. And right at the end, right at the triumphant end, when everything was going to come into alignment and everything was going to work out just the way she had wanted it to through the whole movie, the little screen went up into the ceiling of the airplane, and Esther said, "No! What's wrong with this picture? I want to get to that good thing." And so we want you to realize that everything that you want is because you think you will feel better in the having of it. And that's an emotion that you're having. That's an emotional manifestation. So we think it is accurate to say everything that matters to you is because of the emotional manifestation. And if we can convince you that it's the emotional manifestation that you're going after, then you can be self-empowered in this moment to move yourself into that manifestation even before what you would ordinarily think is your justification for the manifestation of positive emotion has occurred. In other words, you think you want to find your dream house, or you think you need to find financial balance, or you think you need to find the perfect mate, or you think you need to find the improved bodily condition, and you think that once you find it, you will feel better. And we don't disagree that good feeling things are good feeling. Good feeling things feel good. We get that you want good feeling things, but if you are dependent upon something to present itself to you in a way that causes you to feel good, then you are missing the point of deliberate creation, and you are not in control of the relationship between you and you. And that's why we want to point your attention toward what we are calling the manifestation of emotion. We were visiting with a woman one day. If you've been listening to us for a while, you can move your lips as we tell this story, because we know you've heard it again and again. But it is the most important story that we ever tell relative to anything that matters to you. Woman said, "I'm in pain, my body hurts. How can I think positive thoughts when my body hurts?" She makes a good point, doesn't she? You mostly take your body everywhere you go. So how you feel in your body is a big part of your awareness. My body hurts, Abraham. How can I feel positive emotion when my body hurts? And we said, you have to separate the emotion from what you are calling the manifestation of your body. Now today, if we were speaking to her, we would say, you have to separate the manifestation of emotion from the manifestation of the arthritis in your hip. Because the manifestation of emotion is something that you can control right now. You can change it right now. The manifestation of your physical condition will be coming along afterward. But we explained to her that if she is willing to prolong her emotional manifestation of despair, then she's prolonging her manifestation of physical discomfort. We said to her, if you can find the manifestation, we weren't using those words then, the manifestation of hope, the vibrational difference between fear and hope is the difference between recovery or not. It's the difference between recovery. You can't let what is be the reason that you feel the way you feel. You have to decide to feel the way you feel because you intend to feel the way you feel, because you're wise enough to separate the physical reality from the emotional manifestation. And if we can make that point to you, and you can hear it in a way that you are determined to move forward from this day, having control of your emotional manifestation, because you can right here, right now. We're not talking about the big hairy deal of manifesting the car or the empire or the New York Times best-selling book or the most perfect relationship in the world or the magnificent dream body that you're looking for or the recovery from something unwanted physically. We're talking about your ability to manifest the emotion that you're going to get from it after you get that manifestation now. You don't have to wait for the manifestation to show up in order to get the manifestation of emotion, which is the reason you're doing it anyway. That's our point. Did you hear it? So, and will you admit that you want it for the emotional reward anyway? And do you believe that you can get the emotional reward before you get the manifestation that supports it? That really is the big question. Because if you believe that, then you're home free. If you need the manifestation first, to which you will have a positive reaction, now you're slowing it all way down. Now you've got it backwards. Manifestation always follows the vibration. The vibration is about focus. So when you get it, if we can convince you, if we can get you to make a decision, if someone said, what are your goals in life? And you would say, my goal is to feel happy in as many moments as is possible. We would say, now that you've set joy as your goal, you've got it. You've got it all figured out. But if you say, well, my goals are, by the time I'm 30, I want to have achieved this degree, and I want to be at this financial status, and I want to have this kind of relationship, and I want to have 2.5 children by that time. As you make your goals about the manifestations, and you forget about the manifestation that is the real reason that you are setting all of your goals, then you slow everything way down. But if you set emotional goals, if you decide that how you feel is what matters, now everything picks up for you really, 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 really fast. We've told you everything that is important for the successful life that you've come to live. There's just one thing that we want to add to this brilliant preface that we have just delivered to you. And that is the source within you. And we stand in that place because we are non-physical energy. We are focused within your physical reality through you all day, every day. In other words, whether you are up to speed with us enough to feel it or not, we're right there. So we want to present to you a picture of the cycle of life, because we want you to understand that you were source energy, but you still are, even though you're in this body. And that while you're in this body, you are exploring and expanding, and you are causing the source within you to become more. And that source within you is focused through you. And so it's just this continual cycle where who you were is now who you are, and who you are is who you now are, and who you are is who you are. In other words, you can't separate yourself ever from who you really are. Not really. But you can do a pretty good job of pinching it off, and that's what negative emotion is. So when you decide that you want to have a conversation with someone and that you would like the fullness of who you are to manifest, so that means you want clarity, not confusion. That means you want humor, not doldrum. That means you want joy, not a feeling of despair. That means you want to be an uplifter, not someone who discourages. That means you want to be someone who gives life to the people that you're visiting with, not someone who sucks the life from them. In other words, you really want, and if you are to feel good, you must have an awareness that the source within you will come to every party that you ever have. Every communication, you have the availability of this infinite intelligence pouring through you. Don't you just love it when you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on? Don't you just love it when you're at the top of your game? Don't you just love it when the most clever things come out of your mouth? And don't you just love it when those clever things come out and everyone around you is uplifted by the fact that they have? Don't you just love it when you are so tuned in that you are evoking tuning in from other people, so that there's this synergy? Don't you just love a mastermind conversation where good ideas just keep coming? Don't you just love being so all that you really are that you can't do anything less than evoke all that somebody else is in the same moment, because your energy is so high you're dominating the moment? Don't you just love being the pure positive energy being that you are while in a physical body? And we want you to know that's what you came for. You didn't come to make something that was broken unbroken. You didn't come to fix a broken world. It isn't broken. You came for the fun, for the clarity of the expansion. You came for the moments in time. You came for the collective consciousness. You came for the platform of physical life experience. You came for the continuity of this physical life experience. We just want you to understand that the non-physical is not out there as some nebulous mist waiting for you to get your act together so that you can croak and return to heaven, so that then we can tell you what you did right and what you did wrong and then send you back to do better next time. There's nothing like that going on. You are a source energy being who has come for the fulfillment, for the joyous fulfillment of expressing life. And we want you to understand that we're in this with you. We are expressing life through you, to you, and through you. We're in this together, you see. We are energy. You are energy. We are vibration. You are vibration. And when you understand this, and we feel you do, don't you? As you've been listening to us here, you're getting this. You're feeling the resonance of what we speak. You know it right now, don't you? And the reason you know it is because you were patient enough to focus in a way and listen to us deliver the words of something that you knew before you were born. And we rambled long enough and you listened clearly enough that you have come into full resonance with who you are. And this is what we're talking about. You want to be in full resonance with who you are. You'll go home and they'll say, "Oh, how was the meeting?" And you'll say, "It was fabulous." You will. You'll say, "It was fabulous. It was fabulous." And they'll say, "What was it about?" And you'll say, "Well, you kind of had to be there. You kind of had to be there. You have to be there. You have to be on the vibrational frequency in order to know." And you know that. Don't you like being with people who are on your vibe? And you say that when you're in the doldrums, you want them to be there with you. You really don't, because it just adds to it. But it's nice to find resonance with who you are.